less conventional view of the events of that grim day may provide a more satisfactory explanation. In particular, Alfred Jarry's The Crucifixion Considered as an Uphill Bicycle Race gives us a useful lead. But Oswald was the starter. 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 From his window above the track, he opened the race by firing the starting gun. It is believed that the first shot was not properly heard by all the drivers. In the following confusion, Oswald fired the gun 2 more times, but the race was already underway. Kennedy got off to a bad start. There was a governor in his car, and its speed remained constant at about 15 miles an hour. However, shortly afterwards, when the governor had been put out of action, the car accelerated rapidly and continued at a high speed along the remainder of the course. The visiting team. The visiting team. The visiting team. As befitting the inauguration of the first production car race through the streets of Dallas, both the president and the vice president participated. The vice president, Johnson, took up his position behind Kennedy on the starting line. The concealed rivalry between the two men was of keen interest to the crowd. Most of them supported the home driver, Johnson. 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 Most of them supported the home driver, Johnson. The starting point was the Texas Book Depository, where all bets were placed on the presidential race. Kennedy was an unpopular contestant with the Dallas crowd, many of whom showed outright hostility. Outright hostility. The deplorable incident, familiar to us all, is one example. The course ran downhill from the book depository, below an overpass, then onto the Parkland Hospital, and from there to Love Airfield. It is one of the most hazardous courses in downhill motor racing, second only to the Sarajevo track, discontinued in 1914. Kennedy went downhill rapidly. After the damage to the governor, the car shot forward at high speed. An alarmed track official attempted to mount the car, which continued on its way, cornering on 2 wheels. Cornering on 2 wheels. Cornering on 2 wheels. Cornering on 2 wheels. Turn. Kennedy was disqualified at the hospital after taking a turn for the worse. Johnson now continued the race in the lead, which he maintained to the finish. The flag. To signify the participation of the president in the race, Old Glory was used in place of the usual checkered square. Photographs of Johnson receiving his prize after winning the race revealed he had decided to make the flag a memento of his victory. Previously, Johnson had been forced to take a back seat as his position on the starting line behind the president indicates. Indeed, his attempt to inflict damage on Kennedy during the false start was forward by a track steward who pushed Johnson to the floor of his car. In view of the confusion at the start of the race, which resulted in Kennedy clearly expected to be the winner, clearly expected to be the winner on past form, being forced to drop out at the hospital term. It has been suggested that the hostile local crowd, eager to see a win by the home driver Johnson, deliberately set out to stop him from leaving the race. Another theory maintains that the police guarding the track were in collusion with the starter, Oswald. After he finally managed to get the send-off, Oswald immediately left the race and was subsequently apprehended by the track officials. Johnson had certainly not expected to win the race. There were no pit stops. Pit stops. There were no pit stops. There were no pit stops. Several puzzling aspects of the race remain. One is the presence of the president's wife in the car, an unusual practice for racing drivers. Many, however, always maintain that it was under the control of the ship of state, and was therefore entitled to captain's privileges. The Warren Commission, the write-off on the book of the race. In their report, prompted by widespread complaints of foul play and other irregularities, the syndicate had laid full blame on the starter, Oswald. Without ever, Oswald badly misfired. But one question still remains unanswered. Who loaded the starting gun? Who loaded the starting gun? Who indeed loaded the starting gun?